Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. I am Nick. Thank you guys so much for watching. It is so good to see you guys all here watching this channel and following along with this build. Finally, today is the day. We got some parts. We actually got some parts for this car. And as you can see all behind me right here, look at all this stuff right here. Wow. Why don't we sit down and talk about what these parts are and kind of how much I paid for them. So before we get into anything, I have the old ECM right here in front of me, and I want to open it up and kind of show you what we found. That way you guys can get a better idea of why we had to replace the ECM. All right, so let's go ahead and open this thing up right here. As you can see, a little bit of the burn char mark is on the lid of this thing, as well as here. You can see this is where this has all been cleaned up now, but you can see in our first video where this was burned up. And if you could smell this, I mean, you can tell that something, some electrical short did happen here. Open this up and pop this around to the side. You can see exactly right here that this is all burned up right here, and that's actually just no good. You can kind of see, like right here where my thumb is, where water got in here and damaged this ECM. So if the ECM sits into the housing like this, burns up on this side, you can kind of tell right here, somebody opened this before and they didn't seal it correctly. So this is probably where the water got in and burned this up. This is all preventable, and it's unfortunate that it happened to me, and kind of sucks that it did, but we got a new one. We're gonna install it, and we're gonna test it, see what happens. All right, so you can see we got the new ECM here. It is a different part number slightly than the other one. The other one is K, this one is G, so if you look through this white sticker, this one's actually a K, and this is the superseding G, which kind of doesn't make any sense because G comes before K. But nonetheless, we got the new ECM here. Alice was able to take the tune off the other one and program this one exactly how the other one is. And hopefully we can just pop this in and we won't have to take the car to Audi and everything will work. As you can see, we have all these other parts right here ready to go into the car, and some of these are precautionary, such as these are the coils and these are spark plugs. They don't really need to be changed, but I'm changing them because I'm so close to them right now and this car is very difficult to work on. And since I'm so far in here, I might as well just change them so I don't have to do it at a different time. So as you can see, these are gaskets and seals here, and you have to change these every time you take the intake manifold off. So that's what I'm gonna do. You could probably get away with it, but you're really kind of chancing something, and you know, knowing my luck, I might as well just change it now before anything bad happens and I have to do the job again. So always do everything right the first time, and make sure you're changing the things that need to get changed, so you don't have to run into any issues. Why don't you take a guess at how much these seals right here are? If you were to order these things right here from Audi, these would cost you $411, which is outrageous. What you can do is take this same Audi part number, and you can see there's Volkswagen right on there. Take that same number, so let's say you order it from Audi Henderson. They're gonna tell you it's $411. You take these part numbers, you put it into Audi Henderson's website, and this goes for any Audi. They all have a online parts catalog. What you do is put those part numbers in, and I only paid $170 for these. So that saved me quite a bit of money. Now these over here, you can see, are the seals for the injectors. 3 little pieces. Now, would you believe this kit right here, just these 3 things, cost $22. That's an absolute insane amount of money for this. So this stack right here cost $220. That is just crazy money for 3 little seals. These should all get changed every time you take these parts out of the car, and it's just cost of doing things right. $22 for this kit, you know, might seem pretty steep, but that is actually at our cost. If you were to order these from Audi, these would cost you about $60, and $60 compared to 22, well, now 22 doesn't look so bad. So let's clean all this stuff off of here, and let's get back into the car and start working on it. Oh God, you see this? Working on the car. and it's starting to hail. You can see how nasty it is over there. Alright guys, so I'm really sorry if the audio is kind of loud with the rain in the background, but it's just something we got to deal with because I'm not going to stop work for the rain, and I'm sure you guys want to see what's going on. So what I did is I just plugged both ECMs into the car, and if you do remember how we found this fault is that I would turn the ignition on and I would hit the throttle, and only the right side would open. Ready? Go for it. So I'm gonna do that now. I plugged them both in, I'm gonna turn the ignition on, and hopefully both of them open. If they both open, then most likely we found our issue. I don't know if it's an omen, guys. I don't know if I'm reading into it, but you can see the sun is actually coming out behind me. But you saw in the video, the fuel pumps, when I turned the ignition on, tried to pump fuel into the fuel rails. And you know, obviously they're not disconnected, so they just went everywhere. That's not a big deal. I'll just clean it all up. But you saw both throttle bodies open, and that's just very exciting for me. I'm really happy. I really do believe that this was our issue, and we're gonna be moving forward from now and getting this car together. But you saw both throttle bodies open, and that's very exciting. I really do believe we found the issue, and getting this thing back together, hopefully on the road, and maybe doing some donuts or something. I don't know. But first things first, we gotta finish the cleaning and then put everything back together. All right guys, so it's the next day, and I know that I only had a couple of cylinders left to finish yesterday, but Mario called me, and he had an emergency. He needed my help. One of his drivers put gasoline in a diesel vehicle, and that's bad. What makes it worse is that the truck has only 100 miles on it, and that is just, I don't know how people do that. That's just terrible. So I had to help him get that truck to his house so he could drain the fuel and do everything to prep that truck to get back on the road. So anyways, back here, finished the rest of the cylinders today, and you can see I raised the car back up, and that's so I could get underneath and turn the engine over to close the valves that I needed to clean those cylinders. Anyways, now I'm about to put the new spark plugs and coils in. I know Levi is on his way, so let me get started on that, and hopefully we'll get a lot of this car knocked out tonight so we can get more content for you guys other than me just working on this car. All right guys, if you see behind me, Levi, familiar face to the channel, he's helping me out. He's back, he's finishing up the spark plugs right now. I just finished up the seals on the injectors, and everything's coming together real good. So what our plan is next is to actually start installing everything again. So finally everything's going back together. This is kind of exciting. One of us will be back here installing the lower intake manifold, and then the other person will be installing the wiring for the dash cam and the backup camera. So hopefully we'll start getting through this process. I'm not sure where we'll get to tonight, but hopefully by this weekend we'll have this thing up and running. All right guys, so we just spent the last few hours putting these intake manifold lower and upper in, and let me tell you, these engineers did a damn good job of getting everything real tight. And that is, I'm not sure why German engineers do that, but I believe it's to make everything harder on us. And well, as you can see, we got everything back in here. Everything's good. We triple checked everything, and everything's torqued to correct specs and tight. All the hoses are in the correct spots, and we are just going to leave this here for the night. So Levi and I didn't get to any of the cameras today, but huge shout out to Levi right here. He helps me out with so many things, and you're gonna see him in a few upcoming videos that we have going on, and I cannot wait to get this car on the running. I'm sorry that we didn't get it running in this episode, but we should have it running in the next video. So if you like this video, hit that like button below, smash if that's something you want to do, subscribe if you already haven't, and we'll see you in the next video.